Welcome everybody to another Fantasy Goodfellas video where we talk about the top 30 running back rankings for week 14. You ready?
The Fantasy Goodfellas.
Rolling on the field.
The Fantasy Goodfellas.
All right. Before we get started in this video, I just want to explain a little bit of what you should expect. Unfortunately, we don't have Richard to kind of help us with his rankings, so we're going to have to use some other rankings. But I'm going to use the stat machine to kind of show you and visualize how the players did and how they should do this week, and hopefully it will help you with your lineups. I haven't done it on my own, so I'm going to have a little, and this is a live video, so what we want is some feedback, some interaction with you guys, so that way we can kind of, show you some stats, show you some graphics that maybe can help you with your lineups. All right, so let's just get started. The first thing I want to do is I want to show you how the rankings and predictions look from last week. So this was the rankings from Fantasy Pros. I didn't use Richard's rankings here. Let me just choose Richard's rankings to see how we did last week. And so this is how it looks. Now, if you look and you see, well, Derrick Henry, he didn't make the top 30. Kenneth Walker didn't make the top 30. Joe Mixon, Jeff Wilson. Now, this doesn't show you if they're injured or not, but this gives you kind of an idea that who made it. So what we want to do is I also want to kind of show you guys that, one thing about predictions is I want to show you what it looks like for the touchdowns, because I'm always curious. Is it yards? Is it touchdowns? So this is what week 13's predictions look like, and you can see that it's not touchdown heavy as you would expect. So you can have Tony Pollard. This is the predictions. So you can see if anybody had 2 touchdowns, that would put him there. I know Tony Pollard was number 1. Josh Jacobs was number 1, and Christian McCaffrey. Tony Pollard, Christian McCaffrey, and Josh Jacobs. But if you have 2 touchdowns, you can make the top rankings. But that's what it looks like. So sometimes. If you come here and you look at, take this off, this is what the rankings look like. All right, so let's just go ahead and prepare ourselves for week 14. So this is week 14, and coming in at number one is Austin Eckler versus Miami. Now, Austin Eckler didn't have a good week 13, but he had 35 rushing yards, 5 catches for 67 yards. So he got the yardage. He just didn't get the touchdown. So he was ranked 25. Safe bet to say that he's going to be in the top 30. I have no problem with Austin Eckler at number 1. Next up is we have Josh Jacobs. He's at the Los Angeles Rams. Josh Jacobs has been doing amazing all season. There's no question with me. If he's expected to make the top 30, it seems like a no-brainer at this point. If you look at it, he's getting the yards. He's surpassed 100 yards, 6 out of the 13 weeks, not including the bye. And touchdowns, he's just been pretty steady. So no problem with Josh Jacobs there. If you come here, number 3, you have Derrick Henry, home versus Jacksonville. Jacksonville looks like a mess. Henry did not have a good week 13. I don't expect him to have 2 bad weeks in a row. I definitely think that he has a chance to break one. And as a whole team, this is what it looks like. The question goes, is Ryan Tannehill's not going to do that much, but he doesn't need to if they just give the ball to Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, he's a stud. What can you say? When it comes now at number 4, Nick Chubb. He's at Cincinnati. Nick Chubb is Nick Chubb. He's a playmaker. He can score. He can score like crazy. And right now he had 80 rushing yards in week 13, and he was ranked 27. So we expect the same thing to happen to Nick Chubb here. He's definitely should have no problem making the top 30. Next up, you have at number 5, you have Christian McCaffrey, home versus Tampa Bay. Christian McCaffrey had an awesome week 13. He had 8 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown, 66 rushing yards. You just expect Christian McCaffrey, just as that quarterback situation goes, they're just going to depend on him more and more. And you saw it in week 13. Now that Garoppolo's out, they're going to lean on Christian McCaffrey even more. And I think Elijah Mitchell got hurt, so there's no question that Christian McCaffrey is definitely going to get as many touches as he can get. Totally dependent on Christian McCaffrey. I have no problem with Christian McCaffrey at number 5 here. At number 6, Ramondre Stevenson at Arizona. He's decent. He even with 54 rushing yards, 6 catches for 24 yards, it seems like New England is counting on him. If you look at the team, he's definitely, they didn't even give the ball to anybody else, so he's definitely getting the usage of the running back spot. And I don't know if you can count on Arizona to do anything. They got a lot of injuries, and Kyler Murray's coming back, not sure, but Ramondre should have no problem getting the usage. So at number 7, Saquon Barkley, home versus Philadelphia. Saquon Barkley, he got a touchdown. He was ranked 11th. It seems like he's heating back up. He was ranked 11th. Just want to look at that offense to see what they're doing. Daniel Jones only passed for 200 yards, so it looks like if they can just give him the same amount of usage, Saquon Barkley should be all right. They are going against Philadelphia Eagles, which is pretty much the best team in the league right now. So, it'll be interesting. Do I think Saquon Barkley will definitely make the top 30? Absolutely. No question. He gets the usage. The only question is they're going against Philadelphia. At number 8, Dalvin Cook at Detroit. Minnesota's playing really well. Dalvin Cook, he's been steady. He's been steady with 70 above yards pretty much all season. Just hasn't had that spectacular games, but he is scoring most weeks, and he is getting the yardage. So Dalvin Cook should be expected to kind of probably still make that top 10. They're going against Detroit. Might be a shootout, but should be a high-scoring game. At number 9, you have Tony Pollard versus Houston. Now, Dallas is kicking butt, so I definitely think that Dallas should have a blowout, and Tony Pollard should have a spectacular game. He has a chance to even make 2 touchdowns again in this game, as Houston hasn't been playing too well all season. So I expect Tony Pollard to do fairly well. The question is he going to get more usage than Ezekiel Elliott? It seems I think there's enough usage for both running backs, but I definitely think Tony Pollard, he's hot. That's the hot hand. You got to stick with him. You got to give him the ball. At number 9, Miles Sanders at the New York Giants. That team's hot. The question is are you going to get you're going to get the usage out of them? Are they going to need to depend on them? If you look at the team as a whole, they're giving a lot of running backs a chance. The question is Miles Sanders going to get that? If you look at Sanders and what he's done all season, he's not blowing it out like you expect him to do. He's is getting the touchdown, short yardage. That's what his rushing yards look like throughout the season. And, I think he should be able to make the top 30. Just where I think this is a little high for him, top 10. I doubt that he'll make the top 10. I mean, the Giants are playing well too. So, I don't think you need to depend on Miles Sanders. But I don't think he'll have 10. And at number 11, you have Travis Etienne at Tennessee. Travis Etienne, that offense is falling apart. It looks like Trevor Lawrence just got injured. Probably going to depend on the rushing a lot more. I think again, that team looks like to be in shambles. I don't know if you could just depend on them that much. Hold on 1 second. And we're going to go to at number 12. We got Ezekiel Elliott versus Houston. Got Ezekiel Elliott versus Houston. Again, you're putting two Dallas running backs in the top 12. I find that hard to fathom, even though Houston's not that good of a team, to have two running backs in the top 12. I think it's a little stretch, even though they did it last week. So if you want to look at how both running backs did last week, you come here and you go last week, we're at 12. Okay, you got, and so we got Ezekiel Elliott was 8, and you got Tony Pollard 1. So it is possible, but that both these running backs could be in the top 12. I have a problem. Can you do that 2 weeks in a row? I don't know if that's going to happen. So I think that's like a little stretch. Just don't see it happening 2 weeks in a row. So let's move on and go back to Week 14's predictions. Moving on, at number 15, you got Dameon Pierce at Dallas. It really depends on is this a blowout or not. So you got Dameon Pierce. He's had a good season despite what's been going on in Houston. He's kind of getting the usage. Definitely seems like he's getting all the usage when it comes to running. The running backs, I expect him to get the usage. He should make the top 30. Just seems a little high here for number 13. At number 14, you have DeAndre Swift versus Minnesota. DeAndre Swift, he had a good week 13. He ranked 6th. He had 62 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, and 4 catches for 49 yards. But my question goes here is he's not consistent enough. So the first 2 weeks, he was ranked 3rd, 5th, and then kind of just been absent. And then all of a sudden now, at week 13th, he's ranked 6th. So is he going to be in? Can you count on him? I think you can count on him to make the top 30. Just out at 14 seems a little high for DeAndre Swift, especially since his sporadic season that he's had. At number 15, you have Isaiah Pacheco at Denver. Now, this is another player that, again, there's so many weapons at Kansas City. Do you think Pacheco is going to get the usage? You think the ball is going to come his way? They're playing Denver. I don't think that it's going to be much of a fight there for Denver, but, Denver is due for a breakout game. Just, you got McKinnon, you got Pacheco. Can he get in the end zone? I think that's what we're looking for. Can he get in the end zone? I would say yes, he can get into the end zone versus Denver. At number 16, Najee Harris versus Baltimore. Najee's, he had a decent week 13. The question is, for him, is he going to get that usage again? Again, if you look at it all season, just the yardage scares me. lately he's been coming on strong in the last couple weeks. I think he should do all right. 17 attempts, 5.1 yards per carry. That's pretty good. He was ranked 23rd, and then this week they're playing Baltimore. I think he should be all right. 16 seems about right for him. At number 17, Jamal Williams versus Minnesota. Jamal Williams, he's a touchdown machine. If you look at the touchdowns he's had over the entire season, he's just been steady. He scores more often than he doesn't, and lately he just hasn't been getting in the end zone more than once. But I like Jamal Williams. He is probably the running back that you can count on a little bit more, and I think making the top 30 should be no problem for him. At number 18, Jeff Wilson Jr. at the Los Angeles Chargers. Jeff Wilson did not have a good week 13. I don't think the Dolphins in general had a good game. They showed some signs of life they had a chance to win it, but to his injury, he came out, just wasn't their game. If you look at Jeff Wilson over the entire season, I don't know. He just one game over 120 yards, TDs, one TD. It's. I think you can count on it. It just goes, are they going to give the ball to Wilson or Raheem Mostert? I think that's the question that goes for him there. At number 19, Zonovan Knight at Buffalo, New York Jets. Now, here's a guy that you look at it and just came on. I don't know much about him, but he's coming on strong. About 60 yards. No TDs, but they might be just going to him just because of the depth chart. But you look at it, and he's not even ranked up until then. So I don't know. It's another player. Do you expect them to get 118 yards 2 weeks in a row as a no-name? Maybe. But I don't know much about him. So I used the stat machine to see if I can find out a little bit about him. And again, I just want to say this is the first week I'm doing the rankings by myself. Richard couldn't make this, so I'm trying to use the stat machine that we've been working on all season to present some stats and graphics, so that way you can help make your own lineup decisions. But that's what we're working on here. All right, let's move on. At 20, Rachaad White at San Francisco. Now, Rachaad White had the game-winning touchdown this past week, and so looks like Brady's turning to him. The question is, are they going to go Leonard Fournette or are they going to go Rachaad White's way? I think with the chemistry and the game winner, you kind of turn to them. You kind of favor them a little bit, but there's a lot of targets there. Brady's good. The question is, can he continue to count on Rachaad White? I think they will. They're going to get San Francisco. The Dolphins didn't do good. That's pretty much of a good defense. I think you're going to need Rachaad White to score, and I don't think he's going to score. So I think 20 is a little high for him. At 21, you got Devin Singletary versus the New York Jets. Singletary, he had a touchdown, 51 rushing yards. I remember Richard always saying that Devin Singletary is the running back on one of the best teams, so that bodes well for him. I don't think they need to, if you look at, he's got 4 touchdowns on the season. He's not getting as many touchdowns. He's not getting in the end zone. And I don't know. Are we going to depend on Devin Singletary to get another touchdown? I doubt it. And they're going against the Jets. I think they're going to pass the ball more. I don't know if Devin Singletary is going to get into the end zone. At 22, Latavius Murray, home versus Kansas City. He had 47 rushing yards, 14 receiving yards in week 13. He was just outside the top 30. I just, again, here's a player that, you need some yards and you need some touchdowns. Will he get it? I don't know. It seems like I don't think he's going to make the top 30. I think he's going to just miss it once again. And I think this is a little high, especially against Kansas City. Kansas City, they're probably going to have their way with them, and I think that's a stretch. At 23, James Conner, home versus New England. Conner, he's had a struggle all season. He's coming back from injury. He had a good week 12. He's getting into the end zone. He didn't get into the end zone last week. I don't know. There's another player that I don't know if you can depend on him. I think ranked 23 is a little high. I'd push him down. I think he can make the top 30. Just I don't think he'll be as high as 23. At 24, you got Gus Edwards at Pittsburgh. Gus Edwards, he had a miserable week 13. Again, he's just not going to get the yardage. So, you want to look at Gus Edwards and see how he did in his rank all season. He had a good week 7, was probably at best, and then he was outside. So to put Gus Edwards here in the top 30, again, total stretch. I don't think he's going to make it. I think that's pushing your luck a little bit. Then 25, Raheem Mostert at the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, I don't know if there's a week that Mostert and Wilson both made the top 30. I'm going to see if I can. I can't do that. But, the idea that both Mostert and Wilson's going to make the top 30, I doubt it. I think that's a stretch. I think one will make it. I doubt that there's that much. That's a receiving team. That's a passing team. And I just don't think you're going to see both Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert. If I had to pick one, I'd go with Mostert to make the top 30 instead of Wilson. At number 26, Samaj Perine versus Cleveland. He's been heating up. He's been getting the usage. Now that Mixon got injured, to me, in my mind, Perine definitely has the potential to be there. And especially as long as Joe Mixon's out, that team's on fire. Will he get 6 catches for 49 yards again? He was ranked 7th. I think he gets into the end zone, but that's a good Cleveland defense. And, I think Joe Mixon's going to get the usage. But you look all season, it's very inconsistent. He's not there, but, I guess it really goes to how much they depend on him. 21 attempts. We'll see how he does. He should make the top 30, though. At 27, Cam Akers, home versus Las Vegas. Cam Akers is heating up. He had 2 touchdowns, 60 yards rushing. As that team's struggling, big time. So, now all of a sudden there was issues with Cam Akers early in the season. Now they're warming up. Seems a little bit late, but I guess you got nothing else to lose. So I expect Cam Akers to still get the rushes and get the usage there. So I like Cam Akers. He was ranked 4th last week in standard rankings. I think he should make the top 30 again. At 28, Leonard Fournette at San Francisco. Again, you got two Tampa Bay running backs going against San Francisco. To see them both make the top 30, I think it's going to be one or the other. I think it's a stretch. And Leonard Fournette, I think there's a little bit more chemistry with Rashad White there. At 29, Deontay Foreman at Seattle. Carolina looks like a team struggling. And I think the question goes is, you're going to give Deontay Foreman. Seems like I think they were on bye. I think he can get I think he can get it. It's just that team's just in shambles right now, and depend on a Carolina running back. I think there should be no problem. It's just, again, that Carolina offense looks miserable, but I think Foreman will get the usage. And at 30, Kareem Hunt at Cincinnati. Again, you're expected Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt to both do well. I think that's a little stretch. He was just barely made the top 30 in week 13. Now you're expecting that to happen 2 weeks in a row, and Watson's coming back. So, I think it's a stretch once again to see both running backs make it, especially when Watson's coming back. I expect them to pass it a lot more just to prove that Watson was a good pickup this season, or all the drama with Watson. So I think they're going to have to pass it a lot more. And dang it, that was terrible. I'm going to go through that again.
Those fantasy.
Sorry guys. That was supposed to be my rankings. I should have seen that a little bit more. I'm sorry you saw my face a little bit too much. That was a little stretch to kind of have that all in there. So again, we should have had these the stat machine. This is kind of me being a rookie, going a live view. If you guys would have put it in the notes, maybe I could have caught it a little bit earlier, but that's a little disheartening. But I guess that's what happens when you live stream, and I should have done better on the live stream. This is what happens when you don't have your partner in crime. I think we can say that I need a little help on our stat machine. Anyways, I'll try to do these video again as the week rolls out. We might have some injuries. We might have some people not making it. So we'll try to do another live stream later on in the week. This week wasn't that good, but this is what it looks like right now. So you have Travis Etienne, Ezekiel Elliott, Dameon Pierce, DeAndre Swift, Isaiah Pacheco, Najee Harris, Jamal Williams, Jeff Wilson, Zonovan Knight, Rashad White, Devin Singletary, Latavius Murray, James Conner, Gus Edwards, Raheem Mostert. Anyways, that's going to do it. I feel bad. I feel miserable. We didn't have the stat machine up and running. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll do better in the next one.
Those fantasy good fellas.
Rolling on the field.